welcome back. And if you're new here, so glad to have you. My name's Amanda, and I'm going to show you how to level up your cooking. If you follow me, you're going to gain confidence in the kitchen, and you're going to have friends and family that are going to be asking for seconds. So hit that subscribe button and let's get cooking. Today I'm making a very simple beef stew. I call it like a beef and mushroom stew. My husband grew up with a version his mom made called no peak stew, because the idea was that she assembled the ingredients and put it in the oven and it just cooked slow and low all day long. But I kind of took her recipe, which is amazing, but I've adapted it and I use the Instapot. That way I can cook it a little faster than like an all-day process. So you're going to start off with cubed stew meat. Now you can see, I'm sure you're going, Amanda, your meat looks weird. Okay, so this was from 2 packages that I spread out on a cookie sheet. One of them is brighter pink. The other one has more of a brown color to it. This is because they had 2 different sell-by dates. This package with a little bit of, that's gone a little bit more brown, had a sell-by date that was like 2 days ago. That's totally fine, okay? Your sell-by date is like the day you need to sell it, and then it's still good for 3 to 5 days after the sell-by date. That's different than an expiration date. So meat is usually packaged with that sell-by date. Also, it'll start to turn brown as it oxidizes. So that's just what happens. It's a process. Don't freak out and think that your meat has gone bad and that you have to throw it out. So that's why we have some kind of brownish meat that we're trained to think doesn't really look as appealing, and some meat that still has some of its pinkish color. Okay, so the Instapot has a saute feature, and it's really great. I use it for some things, but especially because I've got my 3-quart Instapot here, which is a lot smaller than the 6-quart. It would take a long time to get this meat browned. So I go ahead, one of my favorite things is to try to see how few dishes I can get dirty while I'm cooking. But I go ahead and get an extra cookie sheet dirty for this dish because it saves so much time. I've got my oven hit to broil. It's on broil right now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna broil the meat while I saute the onions, and then I'll be able to get this recipe going faster. So I'm adding some salt, and I actually just typically, because I'm going fast, I'll just season one side of the meat because it's all gonna get stirred in and it doesn't really need to be seasoned on both sides. Okay, so this is some onion powder. Oh man, that actually smells really good. I can smell the onion. Garlic powder. I don't have these labeled. I really need to get the label, but since I'm the only one who uses them, I know which one's which. The garlic powder has more of a golden color to it. And then I've got some paprika. Whoa! Okay, so that happens sometimes, but that's okay. It's actually not too much, and what I'm gonna do is I am gonna go ahead and just scooch this around because I put out so much paprika there. So crazy. All right. Now, if it had been way too much, I would have gotten like a paper towel or something and tried to dab it up, but that was just me going too fast. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands and grab my towel. They're always around somewhere in this kitchen. Get my trusty little olive oil. I love this thing. And drizzle a little bit of olive oil. You don't need much. The meat itself has plenty of fat, but I just find that putting a little oil helps get the meat browned up quickly. So I'm going to throw this into the top rack of the oven. Well, I'm so excited. I bought a microphone. It comes tomorrow, so my cooking videos, well, I'll also level up a little bit. I'm learning. I know a lot about cooking. I've been cooking for 25 years, but I know next to nothing about videoing. So we're all here to learn new things. Okay, so now we're gonna start cutting up our onion. So this is the Mayan sweet. I like cooking with sweet onions. You can just use a regular white onion, any kind of yellow onion. They'll all be fine. I also want to give a huge shout out. I got a bunch of new subscribers over the last 2 days, and I think most of them came from Team Body Project. I mentioned my cooking channel on their Facebook page and got a bunch of subscribers. So Team Body Project members, if you're watching, please comment below, give me a shout out, say hi. This last, I guess it's actually been, my onion is being stubborn. Back in April of 2019, I started a health journey, and I've lost 65 pounds since then. And Team Body Project has been a big help in that. They have really awesome workout videos. So if you're looking for a fun workout video that actually makes you laugh out loud while you're working out, check them out. I'm going to link them below because they're great. So between them and I have a daily yoga practice that I do, I've lost 65 pounds and I get to eat yummy food all day long. All right, so I'm going to take the time to show you the correct way to hold a knife because this is a major pet peeve of mine. You do not want to hold it back here. I see a lot of people holding it like this or like this. That's not the proper way. You're not going to get the right leverage. You actually choke up on it, you hold it, you put your thumb on the blade here and your finger on the blade here. So you're holding the right at the top. You're not holding back here. And that gives you good leverage as you're chopping your vegetables. Now one day I should redo this recipe and show you the oven way to do it. It's really very similar, just a couple of steps that you're going to change because you're not supposed to put flour in the Instant Pot while it's under pressure. So I had to modify that step. All right, so I'm going to hit the saute button, which I probably should have already done because then it would have been nice and hot, but I'm too busy chit-chatting with y'all, which is definitely the best way to spend time. Okay, I'm gonna put a little olive oil. You can put a little butter, just we need a little fat. Oh, I have some baking grease. That probably would have been really good too. Okay, grab my spoon. It's the story of my life. Grab my spoon. All right. And we're going to get this onion in here. It is a nice, quiet Saturday. I don't know, today just seems really peaceful. Okay, I'm gonna grab some mushrooms out of the refrigerator. So I don't like getting out all my ingredients right away like a lot of cooking channels probably do because that's just not how I cook in real life. And my goal is to show you how I cook without recipes and how my brain works. I often change my game plan in the middle of cooking because, you know, different things happen. Like, you know, I spilled too much paprika. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to modify and keep trucking. So if I had everything like all perfectly measured out and chopped, you're not actually going to learn what I want to teach you. Anybody can read a recipe. What I want to show you is what to do when you screw up, because I do that quite often. And then you just pivot. Oh yeah, I know why it's so quiet around here today. So I live in a new development. Our house is just over 3 months old, and we've got like 5 new houses going up around us that are all under construction. And normally they're working on Saturdays, but for some reason today it is so quiet and I am just Loving it. Okay, so I've been checking these mushrooms to make sure there's no dirt on them, but like this one down here at the bottom has some dirt, so you just get a towel and you rub it off. You don't want to wash your mushrooms. Think of mushrooms kind of like little sponges, and if you soak them or get them too wet, they're gonna soak up a lot of water flavor, and then when you cook them, that water will steam out, making whatever you're trying to do soggy. Okay, so I like to cook with a little garbage bowl nearby. Just helps things go a little faster. So you can hear my onions starting to get going. That's why I should have had the saute button hit while I was cutting the onions. Then they would have started going faster, because I really like to make my food wait on me. I don't like waiting on my food. I'm trying to get dinner done. So this is a meal that I like to do earlier, like on a day where I'm not trying to get a 30-minute meal done. Like this is definitely one that takes a little bit longer, even with the Instapot. But you know, sometimes you just need those kind of meals. All right, I'm gonna add some salt and pepper. I don't think I actually even peppered my meat, so I'll add some pepper here. And speaking of the meat, we're gonna go check on it now. That is what I'm talking about. So you could flip it. Actually, I probably should, because these aren't ready yet. If my onions and mushrooms were ready, I would just dump this in. But since I'm still waiting on this, I am going to go ahead and flip this meat over. Okay, I'm spreading out a towel because this is hot, and I've got like a kind of plasticky cutting board, so I don't want it to melt. So I'm going to flip this, and all those brown bits equal flavor. I'm just kind of tossing this around a little bit, and then we're going to stick it in while we wait for our mushrooms and onions to keep, come on, those juices, flavor juices. Oh, I actually turned this off, dang it. There we go. All right. I'm going to let this saute for a minute or two here. I'll show it to you. Show you what it's looking like. And then when the meat and these are done, I will come back. All right, so my meat is done. I just peeked on it. So we'll pull it out. And by done, I mean I'm ready to put it in with the onions and mushrooms and don't want to wait on it any longer. But it does have really nice color, and that's all you're wanting. So I'm going to, see, I put us on this hot thing again. Very carefully, I think I need another pot holder. I love these silicone pot holders. These are actually made for kids' hands. They came in a baking kit for my kids. I really want to get it like a more adult size, but they've been working. Okay, so I'm carefully transfer this meat without trying to make a big mess. And that's easier said than done. Sorry guys, I got a curl in my nose. That's the downfall of having a curl. So you might ask, like, what's the difference between a 6-quart and a 3-quart Instapot if you've been considering buying one. And I'm going to just turn the Instapot off. Right now, remember, it's still in the saute feature. I actually have both. I love the Instapot so much. And not sponsored. Well, yeah, I wouldn't expect to sponsor this early in my YouTube channel, but wow, that'd be an awesome sponsorship. Anyway, I love my Instant Pot. It was a game changer in my kitchen. I have the 6 quart and the 3 quart. I use my 3 quart most often. I have a family of 4. If you have a larger family, you might find yourself using the 6 quart. Or if you like to do a lot more bulk meals where you cook, like if you double this recipe, you could, this would, well, actually it wouldn't freeze very well because of the mushrooms. But if you wanted to like eat on it throughout the week and just have it in the refrigerator, then you know, you would want to go up to the 6 quart, because as you can see, this is getting right at where the max capacity for this max capacity for this 3 quart one. And let me tell you, it has happened where I've started in the 3 quart and I'm like, oh, this is getting too big, and I've had to pull out my 6 quart and move everything over, and that's never fun. But this actually will make lots of leftovers, but my husband loves this and he will eat it for lunch. All right, so now we need to add you need a cup of liquid to bring it up to pressure. Now remember, we just poured off some juices. Now I would normally use beef stock, but I forgot to buy some beef stock. So we're gonna roll with the punches and use chicken stock today. You can also use vegetable stock, doesn't really matter. You could even use water. We're just, you know, I'm using chicken stock because it has more flavor than water. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more onion powder. I'm pretty sure my mother-in-law's original recipe had a packet of like onion soup mix. I don't tend to use mixes like that. I just don't keep them in the house. I like having my spices. This is celery seed. Don't need it, but if you've got some, it adds a good flavor. If you don't like onions, you could actually substitute celery at the beginning of the recipe too. Celery is usually a good substitute for onions a lot of times. Okay, and then these are like the babiest bay leaves ever, but I'm gonna use 2 of them because these are adorably small. All right, I'm not gonna add any more salt at this point. It should be okay. I will salt it, or I will taste it when it's done, and if I need to add more salt at that point, I will. All right, so I'm just kind of mixing in those last little bit of spices I added, getting the bay leaf down in there, and I will show you what it looks like. We will get the Instant Pot turned on. So that's what it's looking like. We're going to put the lid on. We're gonna move it to the ceiling, where it says ceiling on this spot, and this side says venting. So just move your tab. And then we're hit meat stew. Oh, I had that readjusted. It keeps your last one, and I don't know what I did for 14 minutes, but we're gonna do it at 35 and then I will check it, but it should be good at 35. But if it needs more cooking at that point, I will let you know. All right, so we will get that going and we'll be back later. Hey guys, we're back. So the Instant Pot just went off a few minutes ago. Since today is kind of a little bit of a lower and slower type of meal, even though, I mean, it's faster than the oven method, I'm going ahead and let this do a manual release. So I guess I didn't really set this up right. All right, so it's been about, oh, it says 10 minutes since it beeped at me. You can know when it's done when this, there's a little metal piece right here, it will fall down. It hasn't fallen down all the way, so I'm gonna go ahead and let it release the rest of the way. Oh, maybe it did fall down. Yeah, okay, sorry. It didn't look like it was down. Sometimes you can hear it, but I wasn't really paying that much attention. So let me, just made me some tea, just steep while I'm doing this step. All right, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So we have this, and see, I didn't want too much liquid, which is good because we're going to add some more. And I can just even tell this is so fall apart tender, which is just what we wanted. All right. So what we're going to do, you can see my little pug tail right there. Watson, you being a good boy? All right, we're going to get some flour. And add about 1/3 of a cup. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off and push it back to saute. And I've got, like I said, about 1/3 of a cup of flour. And if I was using beef broth, I'd use more beef broth. You can also use water, whatever you want here. And this is really important. You want to whisk this. See, I got this real small whisk, and you want to make sure you get all of your lumps out. This is called making a slurry. I talk about this quite often. Anytime you add flour to a hot liquid, if you don't make it into a slurry, it will clump up and make like little flour gummy balls in your dish, and that is not what you want. Okay, so you can hear it is starting to boil, which is good because we now want to cook this flour. So I'm putting it in my Instapot, and I'm going to stir. Where's my towel go? I'm always losing my towel. All right, we're going to stir this up, and I'll show you again in just a minute. You can go ahead and pull out your bay leaves. You come across them. In my family, there used to be a joke, except joke's on me because I'm the only one who does it. It says if you get the bay leaf, then you have to clean up the dinner that night. All right, now I'm gonna go get some milk. So, add a little bit of milk. Heavy cream would be delicious, but that's one area where I will cut a little calories in a dish like this. So instead of adding heavy cream, I still use whole milk, but it's not heavy cream. And this is what you get. So I will serve this over egg noodles, and I will serve a side of vegetable, usually like green beans. Oh, Google was listening to me. So I will taste this, and I'm going to turn off the saute and we'll see if it needs any more salt or anything. You might see here in the back, I am brewing kombucha. I did an Instagram, oh goodness, so if this thickens up too much, like I've got this and it's just still thickening up, I'm gonna add a little bit more chicken broth to it because I don't want it that thick. I mean, stews are thick, but the other thing is I'm gonna keep this on the keep warm feature because it's 3 o'clock tonight, right now. And the longer this just sits and kind of, does its thing, it'll just get tastier and tastier. I'm not gonna make my noodles until it's closer to dinner time, but that way this can just sit and it'll be ready when we're ready to eat tonight. Okay, so it's a little bit redder than I normally do, because like you saw earlier, I put more paprika than I normally do. Oh, that's good. So you can taste the taking the time to actually brown your meat makes such a huge difference. You actually get that flavor that you wouldn't get if you hadn't browned the meat. I'm just tasting the sauce right now because it's not good. It gives a depth to your broth that would not be there, especially since I use chicken broth instead of beef broth. I really needed that caramelization of the beef. I have taken the shortcut to not do that step, and you're gonna have a fine, tasty dinner, but it's definitely one that I would recommend not skipping if you have the time to do it. And it was just doing its thing in the oven while I was sauteing in mushrooms and onions, so it really didn't take any extra time. So, okay, I don't know, did I finish that sentence? I've noticed sometimes when I'm replaying my videos, I'll start a train of thought and not come back and finish y'all. So if I do that and I leave you hanging, please comment below, and I will take the time to answer the comments and finish the story if I start one, because I've got mom brain sometimes. So yeah, what I was saying back here is not related to this recipe at all, but this is a kombucha tea, and you brew it. It's a super amazing, healthy drink. Maybe I'll do a YouTube video on it one day. I did do an Instagram live TV showing how to brew. So that's sitting and something I need to finish up this afternoon. But I figured some of y'all would be like, what is those jars she's got behind me? I've also got back here is the smaller jars are actually kefir, which is another fermented drink. And I think I also did another Instagram TV on that at one point. So, oh, if you want to check me out on Instagram, I'm DITT, and I post pictures of my daily life and what we're up to and that kind of stuff. So I would definitely appreciate a follow over there. It's kind of fun, get to know me a little bit more. Please comment below if you have any questions. If anything I said did not make sense, please comment below and let me know, because I want to do my best at explaining things to you. And you know, I probably will learn a lot of things along the way too. So all right, I will show you a plated up dinner later tonight after I make the noodles and when it's actually dinner time. Take a moment to hit the subscribe button so that you can see the next time I upload. I really appreciate it, and y'all have a good rest of your day.